my side of things. So I do apologize. You can all blame me. But I will be live. I mean, you can watch me play Drop Zone. Brand new RTS, just launched today, just came out of beta. And I've got some keys to give away as well. So we'll be giving away some keys, so do stick around. You can win some Drop Zone keys when we start up the Drop Zone stream. So we'll do that a little bit later on too. And yeah, give away some keys, have some fun with Drop Zone. It should be fun. It should be a good... It should be a fun, like... it should be a fun little stream. We're only going to be streaming it for like an hour or two. But yeah, it should be good. If it's good fun, I might stream a bit more. Get into a bit. Become a professional Hearthstone. God damn it! Become a professional drop zone caster instead. You know, you never know where your future lies. No, but we will be playing that a little bit in about 2 hours' time. So that's what's up with today. Just in case you're wondering why we won't cast both semi-finals, guys. Thank you for sticking around. Sorry for the downtime, but we're good to go. As we have to the bottom right-hand side of the map, the red Zerg player. It is ByuL. And he's going up against the blue Terran player, KeeN, to the upper left. Long Dong Silver, 2071, I'm really glad that you're selfish enough to insult the guy that's bringing you these games. Like, hey, if you don't like my casting, that's fine. But if you want to be a dick about it, why don't you just leave? Because guess what? If I wasn't casting these games, no one would be casting these games. You know why? Because I'm the person that made this tournament. So believe it or not, without being a complete and utter dick, I think I'm fairly fair to say that you don't have to be such a douchebag in the chat. Thank you very much. Oh, I mod timed you out already. God damn it. On a serious note, just don't bitch. You know, just watch on me. You don't have to say shit in the chat. You know, this goes for anyone. I'm just going to speak for all content creators out there. If you don't like them, you know, maybe you don't enjoy it, just watch on me. You know, people who just talk shit, you put us in bad moods, you ruin our moods, and you make us feel as though what we're doing is a waste of time. And, you know, if you insult people like me, I'm not trying to be like, I feel as though maybe I'm being a little bit too self-centered right now, but, you know, you insult the content creators, you piss them off too much, they're probably going to stop, you know? I mean, there's obviously a very small minority of people that do that, but it definitely does ruin days and stuff, so be nice. Be nice. Cheer up. Just be happy. You know, just be happy that we get some content rather than no content at all. Even if you have to watch it on mute because you can't stand the caster. You know? Be more positive. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking. It's a really stupid thing to respond to. People will call me baited and they'll tell me to stop responding to trolls and stuff. I guess that's something to talk about for a couple of minutes as this Ripper just attacks a couple of Zerglings. So we are here on Abyssal Reef and we're going to see a couple of queens moving forwards. The drones is going to be going back towards the natural expansion as well. Link speed is on the way up and Pneumatized Carapace building as well. So early stages from ByuL is just looking to be safe, standard, make sure you can get in towards his 3 hatcheries with no problem at all, make sure he's not going to be caught off guard by any kind of weird, you know, hellbat attack or anything, make sure he's going to have good scouting to know exactly what's going on at all points. And as the barracks moves away from that tech lab, it looks as though we're going to be seeing the starport swapping on over and probably a Cloak Banshee coming out early. Now we might see a Cloak and a Medivac or something coming on in, or a Cloak and a Viking. But it will just be the Banshee. Okay. I mean, sometimes we see Cloak starting up and it may be a Medivac initially to Hellion drop and then into a Banshee afterwards. So yeah, I'm just going to be seeing the few Hellions just join up together and looking to see what's going on. Moving around as well. And we're just going to be seeing the Banshee. No Cloak actually is interesting from KeeN. Kind of more of a safety Banshee than anything else. Just saying like, hey, I want to get this up, make sure things are going to, things are going to be safe and all the rest of it as well. So it's going to be seeing the Overlord sat in the center. Yeah, it's really interesting. Just like a safety Banshee, KeeN just saying, yeah, I don't want to die. And that's what I'm going to focus on early. As we do see a few Hellions moving out. Only the 6 Hellions made. Oh, interesting opening. Intrigued to see what his follow-up is. Probably moving in towards Bio. And yes, we'll see what happens. Anyways, a few Hellions moving around. I'm just going to be seeing the hatchery on the way over towards the 3rd base. So, I mean, Hellions just attacking here a little bit. I mean, it's just kind of nice and standard from KeeN, really, if you look at it. I mean, it's just going to be fairly passive. You know, Banshee to stay a bit safer, harass a little bit, but not commit too much to it. You know, he'll get a couple of drone kills, for example, and, yeah, I mean, just little bits of damage as he sets up into the free base and just goes from there. And we're going to see that lair about halfway done as well from ByuL right now. So lair about halfway done. As you see those Hellions going to dive in once more. One drone goes down. Maybe another one here shortly as the Zerglings come in. They catch a Hellion. And the Zerglings continue to come in behind this mineral line, continuing to fight through this Hellions. 3 workers going down in total recently. It's not too much. I mean, the Hellions going down. I mean, you may as well try and dive at this point, I guess, if you feel safe enough back at home. He's actually playing mech. He's making more Hellions than Cyclones as well now, and he is on quad gas with only 1 Rax. Man, I guess to be fair, there actually is going to be, well, you know what? I actually guess there is probably going to be, just a mech play here from KeeN. Interesting. Didn't really catch on to that too quickly. I do apologize, but yeah, it's going to be mech. Well, in that case, it's even better to kind of sack the Hellions because you're going to be making more of them anyways, losing 4 to potentially get so much damage. You know, it's like it's the opportunity thing. You know, there's the potential to do so much damage there that you may as well just take it and see what happens. Thank you very much, by the way, for Cautions and 47 Ness, who just hit the sub button. Do appreciate that, guys. I'll give you a proper shout out at the end of the game. Thank you very much for subbing. I see some love in the chat. I'll shout you out properly at the end of this game when we have a bit more time to focus on the love that you guys deserve. Spire is on the way up here from ByuL. I mean, right now he is going into missile upgrades, so he's identified what's going on. Still going to commit to the Spire nonetheless. And we'll see how many mutas he makes. I mean, he may only make 5 or 6, just to force out a couple of 4s and then go into a big, strong Roach follow-up. Or he might just keep the Spire for later in the game and use it as a transition if he kind of sees an opportunity to mass up Mutalisk. Because right now he is making a fair few Roaches. Maybe more so than you'd expect if he wants to suddenly make a lot of mutas, because otherwise he would be saving up gas. That said, he is still saving up quite a lot of gas, so... Roach speed is starting here from ByuL. You can see those 1-1 upgrades about halfway done as well, and well, these couple of Banshees moving around the center of the map there. We'll look to see where they can go in the next few moments. So these couple of Banshees will move on around. Going to move over to the right-hand side. Hydra's Den drops down from ByuL as a follow-up. He does make the 6 meters. Again, I think 5 or 6 is a pretty friendly number, because it forces some 4s out, it forces some Vikings and turrets, and you're probably going to get a couple of worker kills, but it's not a huge commitment, you know, and actually it's going to work out really nicely here, because you will be able to chase these Banshees down, and that's always going to be a big benefit as well. So hunting down these Banshees, shutting them down before they get too much more damage done as well, is really sweet. So picks those Banshees off, and Mutas and the Overseer move them onto the map once again. So, yeah, moving across the map, and ByuL will be, again, I mean, he's only looking to try and get a couple of SCVs, distract the Terran player for a little while here. Abyssal Reef has actually been very popular for mech play as of late. We've seen a lot of players looking to play mech. Yesterday in the Go for SC2 monthly finals, Cass was playing mech against TLO on this map. I mean, you can see why. Easy 3, 4, and even 5 bases for a meching player. It's got a lot of narrow pathways, so you're not likely to get flanked. But it is large as well, which means that, you know, counterattacks are have got potential against the mech. But I think in general the Terran players, you know, there's a lot of kind of direct pathways to opponents' bases, and that's what the mech players like. You know, they're not going to get flanked, not going to get engaged into while they're unsieged mid-map. You know, it's kind of, there's a few different things that are definitely positives for mech here, so interesting that we keep on seeing it as we continue setting up. And we're just going to be seeing that Hive about 75% of the way done. So Hive on the way up here as well. The Hydra Den finishes up Muscular Augments as we see a few Hydras will start to collect together just outside of the 4th base. I mean, ByuL, we're yet to see what his kind of overall plan is here against the mech. I think obviously one of the main things is getting into that Hive tech though. Roach Hydra is obviously the sort of correct main composition that you want initially, but you do start to need Vipers and so much more than just Roach Hydra, and that's what the Hive is going to allow you to do. So that's what we see right now. Hive finishing, and there's the first 2 Vipers on the way. These Roaches in position to start catching these Hellions, and he'll get a couple more kills as those Hellions run on by. One more just before the Hellions go out of range, and a couple of CCs building up from KeeN as well. Lots of tanks over in position here towards the 3rd base, so a lot of tanks over there. I mean, it's that, you know, ByuL can't really attack into that location just yet, at least not until he's got Vipers. Again, for him, it's going to be all about abducting 1 or 2 tanks at a time, maybe dropping Blind Clouds to take a bit of a bigger fight if the tanks are all clumped up together. And you're still flying around as well, and again, they can maybe take down an SCV or so. Possibility in the next few moments as we see the few Cyclones are going to pick off the Changeon right there, so Cyclones picking off the Changeon, and we do see again these Hellions continue to go down to the bottom right-hand side, so going down towards the bottom right, we're just going to be seeing these Hellions continuing to do a little bit more damage on towards this mineral line. Some more drones getting taken down. 10 workers killed, not bad for just a handful of Hellions. Makes up a little bit for the Hellions he lost to the left side of the map just a few moments ago. As the Roaches and Hydras moving forwards once again, and just sitting in the center here. Ultra Cavern on the way up too from ByuL. And he's just going to be, I guess the Ultra Cavern is something I didn't really see coming myself, but it's going to be a good way to fight against the mech army if you get the correct engagement. I imagine it's going to be difficult here though on Abyssal Reef because of how narrow so many of these pathways are. And abduct forwards here from one of these tanks and a couple of Vikings. Going to be a nice start as we see ByuL. How much is he going to commit up this ramp? We see a few more Vikings being abducted in. One Viper being killed off already. The second Viper does get away. And now ByuL will pull back. It was not a bad trade for him. I mean, loses a Viper and a few Roaches and Hydras, but kills a tank, multiple Vikings. Say this is pretty nice, and at the same time pulls the Vikings out of position, allowing the Mutalisks to come in and maybe kick off a tank. Unfortunately, doesn't quite work out, but he still only loses one Mutalisk at the same time. So, still okay here from ByuL, just multitasking, attacking in different locations. And of course, that's one of the best things you can do against a mech player. Start attacking in different locations around the map, and seeing what might happen as we see the Mutalisks coming up the left-hand side, and they're looking to see if they can get a bit more damage done. One Mutalisk gets picked off here right away. And you see the Overseer getting shot down as well. So Overseer getting shot down too. And Viper's starting to consume their Evo Chambers. Get some of that energy back. Make sure you don't kill it though. Don't want to lose that +3 Carapace. That's the last thing you want to happen right now, so... Oh, no! Sad face. The feelings when your +3 gets denied because you kill your own Evo Chamber. That was a little bit awkward. As you see the meters picking off. I think it was a Hellion, was it? Maybe it was a Cyclone, actually. I think it was a Hellion. Trying to tell from the debris that's floating off into the sky. I don't think I'm ever going to get bored of units dying and floating upwards on this map. Doesn't really make logical sense that nothing else acts as though it's underwater, apart from when stuff dies, but hey, you know, it's it's fun to watch. Did you guys see there was on our StarCraft, there's a engagement between Ravens and BCs, and basically the Ravens auto-seeked all of the BCs which clumped together on Abyssal Reef. And because it's Abyssal Reef, like, you have the explosion, it looks cool, and then all of the pieces of battlecruiser blow up and go all over the map. It was sick. It was so sick. Really, really awesome as we see ByuL gathering up towards the top side. I see Sensor Tower is down from KeeN, and he's going to be keeping an eye on those few units and just kind of knowing where his opponent's going to be attacking into in the near future. And we'll see a few of these Vikings and KeeN moving around as well. He's actually got a lot of Vikings. Nidus Network on the way up. Great Aspire as well. I mean, ByuL is obviously building into pretty much everything to just make sure he's got available to him all of the different opportunities, all different possibilities that he might need to use throughout this game. And we've seen the Vikings just continue moving around. We see a nice scan to pick off those few Roaches trying to burrow forwards. And a little bit of a stalemate situation right here where obviously ByuL doesn't really want to attack into the meching Terran player, but KeeN doesn't really want to apparently move out yet despite being maxed out. So both players will sort of sit kind of AFK mid-map. A couple of Vipers will get picked off here. Actually, there's a lot of Hydras, and I don't think actually KeeN realized how many Hydras were underneath these Vipers, because he just lost pretty much every single Viking. That is probably not meant to happen quite like that, as we're going to be seeing. One Hydra is going to get the last Viking. Yes, he does. And we do just see still these siege tanks just sieging up, and Commands in here as well. We see a Nidus in the back of the main, and a few Hellions and Cyclones come into position. There's a lot of Roaches moving out of this, though, actually, and actually maybe enough Roaches to really make a fight out of this. So Roaches going to trade pretty well here overall, I'd say. The 4 trying to come into position, but it's a little far away. Now come the Ultralisks, and KeeN is starting to lose out quite heavily here in this main base, as yeah, these Ultras coming in as well. It really just helps out a little bit more to kind of fight with. He's making his way towards this 4. There's a couple of tanks sieged up in the back now. The 4 will now go down as well. Oh, actually, the 4's going to stay alive. Now we see Queens coming through. Ultralisks will have a little bit more health to work with now if these Queens are able to transfuse. This Roach is blocking this Ultraman. What a douchebag of a Roach. He was sat there for ages blocking this Ultralisk, because we're going to be seeing this starport to the left side. Going to get picked off. Queen taking a lot of damage as well. You can see the 2 Ultras continue to move forwards. I mean, there's the transfuser starting to come in. That's what we're expecting to see on this Ultralisk. Keep it alive for as long as possible, killing off tanks. And finally he gets blown and gets to float up to the surface to be able to breathe again, I guess. Although, I guess you can't breathe if you've been blown to pieces. So it's not exactly the best of situations, is it? You see these few siege tanks going to unsiege, and they're just going to be moving forward slightly in towards the center of the map. +1 ship weapons is on the way from KeeN as well. That's something which didn't get denied by this armory dying. Keeping that alive, these SCVs repairing it, doing God's work, keeping those important upgrades rolling on in. But the thing is, I mean, ByuL traded pretty well there. You can see the supply is 200 still from ByuL and 160 from KeeN. He was maxed out just previously. So fight definitely going the way of ByuL overall. And as we see the transfuse coming down, Viper gets healed on up. And we're going to be seeing these Hyperflight Rotors now coming into the game from KeeN as well. So Hyperflight Rotors coming on down. And these units just moving in towards the center of the map. Getting ready to go, getting ready to attack up towards the upper left side. Look to see what's going to happen next. Nice Abduct to pick off a Viking. Doesn't lose a Viper just yet, and it's a nice transfuse as well to keep the Viper alive. And it's ByuL. Does he fight into this position? Does he fight into this position? Let's see. We see these Vipers still up in the skies and looking to see what's maybe going to happen next. I mean, what do you do now in terms of pushing on in? He has to get rid of these turrets before the Vipers can move forwards, otherwise they're just going to suicide. And well, here we go. Seeker Missile comes down on the Hydra in the middle of the army. Seeker Missile goes off and Hydras do take a beating. But ByuL is still pushing forwards and I think he has to pull away. He loses a lot here, but he does have money to remax. And that's of course kind of the strength of Zerg play against the meching Terran. You're able to build up such a large economy and such a large bank. But the idea is you engage and then you remax and then you engage again and you just take it kind of piece by piece. We'll pick up a turret in a sensor tower with a couple of Hydras. And it's nice, I mean little bits and pieces. Good troop spread as well from ByuL all around the map at the moment. It's coming around here, these Ultras looking to see where they can go as well in the next couple of moments. So Ultras still moving around, looking to see what's happening. You can see these Vikings joined up in the sky from KeeN and a Raven just joined in the center of them as well. Still some more Vipers continue coming up, a couple more Corruptors. And all of those upgrades in the production tab too. You can see ByuL just investing into everything right now. The problem is he has to start finding a way to actually break through this army. It's difficult, you know. There's Vikings to deal with the Vipers. There's a lot of Vikings actually at that. I mean, we see Vipers being remade. We sort of have to see Vipers being remade. There's still meters up as well from earlier in the game. They just sat to this left-hand side just looking to kind of sit overhead and just go from there. As we're going to be seeing the Ultras just moving around here from ByuL. So just positioning his army. He's got Evo Chambers coming up in the center so he can consume with those Vipers. Hopefully this time will not actually kill his... Well, I guess he can't kill his own Evo Chambers now if they're not being used. So just see... Let's see what else is going on around the map. Not a lot. He's just moving around all over the place. A couple of Hellbats getting shut down as ByuL continues to expand. Pretty much the entire map being taken now. Pretty much the entire map being taken. That's kind of crazy. Considering it's Abyssal Reef, I mean, we've still got a couple bases left. I mean, I guess the tough thing is, you know, has KeeN, how do you start taking these bases? You're so focused on this left-hand side at the moment. How do you start pushing out into other bases? It's almost as though you have to mine out before you can start going over in that direction. We're just going to be seeing the, well, Broodlords coming into play, but I mean, there is lots of Vikings, right? So, I mean, also Ravens. And it's not as though there isn't an army to get rid of the Broodlords, which have come into play right here. A couple of Cloak Banshees and, well, no detection or anti-air to the far right side of the map, so KeeN not able to do much about this just yet. You can see Spore Crawler just start to come down now. Actually still taking some hits as Vikings moving forwards. We are seeing Broodlords being picked off one at a time. In fact, a lot of Broods getting taken down right there. 19 minutes in game. Today is just the day of long games. We saw between Hero and Guru some very long games, a 20-minute game, a 30-minute game. And we're 20 minutes into this one right now, and honestly, no sign that it's going to end anytime soon. I mean, ByuL's still in this position where he doesn't want to fight. You know, he doesn't want to engage in this current situation as those two Banshees are starting to work their way through this hatchery. So ByuL's starting to work his way through this hatchery. You're going to see the Queens working their way through the Banshees as well, and they are going to get shot down. You can see a Banshee Rotor look kind of funny flying into the sky right there as apparently there's just a whole bunch of parasitic bombs going down. You can see some Abducts still coming forwards. The Vipers doing their best to try and come in, abduct and back away before they get killed off by the Vikings. That's why the Queen Transfuse is coming useful as well, as right now, this is where these Hydras need to move forwards. However, Seeker Missiles come down and the Broodlords, and only two of them going to get blown up in the end. It's a nice split away by ByuL to minimize the damage. Vikings still fighting as well, though, still putting damage out onto the Vipers and anything else they find in the skies. The triple Banshee to the right side moving around as well, as KeeN still looking for opportunities. Scan coming down into Queens, Hydras. Where do they want to go next? I'm not too sure. Another hatchery over here. Going to get shot down in the next few moments. Spore Crawler is going to be continuing to fight as well. Hydra's trying to chase, Vipers trying to catch. I mean, just trying to shut down the Banshees, but it's just not happening. It's just not happening. Banshees still on the south, seeing where they can go. This CC still can't take this base because of creep spread. We still have a very passive game here on Abyssal Reef. I'm not actually sure what the rest of the maps are, but I wonder if we're going to see a lot more mech in this series, actually. It's a possibility, of course, we do see these Banshees starting to work their way through these drones. I'm just going to be seeing these Banshees still looking around, still looking to see what else is happening, what else is going on. They turn around, actually, the Banshees will now go down, so that's a nice little pick off there from ByuL. A little bit of a mistake from KeeN, as KeeN's still just on the 5 base, is still looking for a way to try and push out into the 6th base, but he has to get rid of the creep spread, which he's still not been able to do. A couple of tanks over here going to get killed by Broodlings and Hydralisks. I mean, he kills off a hatchery though, so I guess worthwhile overall. Still the entire map covered in creep, a hatchery to the far top right hand side as well. We've seen these couple of Ultralisks just getting picked off as well. Broodlords on the way up, and ByuL continuing to be just set up into. I mean, it's just a crazy game right now. I mean, it's a little bit. Well, it's just kind of a longer mech game, I guess, which can be crazy. I guess you can describe it as crazy, but I guess it's kind of standard for a game like this where neither player wants to overcommit into each other. Pushing up the top side, we're going to be seeing these units getting set to go once again. And these Vikings going to be pushing forwards, and whoa, parasitic bombs initially are very good. Vikings start to split away, but there's a lot of parasitic bombs on there. There's a lot of damage going out. More parasitic bombs coming down. Vikings are going to start blowing up. A lot of them getting very low on health. He just splits away last moment. Oh no, he flies into the parasitic bomb that's left behind. He just doesn't lose those units. Oh my god, parasitic bombs doing a lot of damage here. Look at those Vikings, all in the red. Oh man, I mean, if he kills those, that's ByuL able to fight so much more easily into this. With that said, 7 more Vikings being made almost straight away once again. So 7 more Vikings on the way up. Continue to build these right now, and well, you see some Hellbats and tanks coming down this south side, so they continue to attack on through as well, and you see this scan coming down, and Crypt Chamber is being cleaned on out. Going to be seeing the Evo Chamber taking a bit of damage as well, and these Hydras and Queens, the Ultras too. Just moving around for ByuL, looking to see what's up and what's going on. Do you see the Banshees to the south side from KeeN starting to work their way through this hatchery? So hatchery is getting picked away at. It will be falling in the next couple of moments, and well, here come these Ravens getting set to go. We see Seeking Missiles initially. Broodlord's going to have to try and split away. He does manage to get away there. Stuff dying all over the place at the moment, as it looks as though this is a position which ByuL really wants to contend. You know, stop this 6th base from coming up. And that's what he's aiming for. Seeking Missiles again onto the front. Broodlord, Parasitic Bombs, getting rid of all of these Ravens though. And that is an expensive loss from KeeN. He doesn't have the gas to realistically rebuild too many Ravens. At 200 gas a pop, they are way too expensive to just rebuild out of nowhere. And KeeN, well, he's mining out of gas, right? No 3rd base gas left anymore. 4th base gas mined out. 5th base gas. Only has 1,000 gas left, apart from this base here. So if he loses this base, he's only got 1,000 gas left to work with. Here we go. ByuL starts to take a fight. Moving on forwards. I mean, tanks are going down. We see the Ultra pushing forwards too. And the Vikings are going to be pushed all the way back. And I think ByuL has done it, because he can still rebuild. He can still remax. Whereas again, we've just been saying it, KeeN does not have the gas income to rebuild anything else. He has enough gas left on the map to build 5 more Ravens. Or something like, you know, 12, 13 Vikings. It's not a lot. It's really not a lot for him to work with anymore. I mean, he can try and take this bottom left base. He's going to get this base up once again, but I feel as though ByuL should be right back in position, trying to take it once more. You know, he's got 6 more Ultras, 5 more Vipers. He's not going to let this base mine for very long. I think that's almost a definite at this point. So that's what we are starting to see here as we set on up. We're going to be seeing the Vikings are joining up overhead, and well, Banshees to the left-hand side, picking off a couple of creep tumors. We see Queens and Hydras and Vipers and Broods all moving up the right and looking to see what they can do. Ultralisk as well. And it's going to be seeing the Ultras continue to pop. A few more Hydras on the way, and yeah, this army of ByuL is in position to get rid of this orbital. Oh no! He's so close to seeing it. Ah, that's so unlucky. Because actually, if you can reel that up, I still don't think minerals the issue, though. I think it's all about gas. I mean, he can start to set that up. It's something. Does ByuL have Burrow? He does. I'm surprised he didn't burrow Hydras or something here, just to kind of watch for when this base gets taken, because again, it is going to be maybe one of the deciding features in this game. 25 minutes in. See two Banshees still coming around the top side. KeeN will fly in towards this hatchery right here, so he's going to start doing some damage onto this. Hatchery is going to start falling, so hatchery's starting to go down. A few Banshees still to the south side. And then these Banshees do fly away. Drone cancelling the hatchery, and, well, again, Hydra's still looking for opportunities. Still looking for opportunities. Greater Spire is about halfway done now from ByuL as well. You see Sporecrawler going to reposition. I don't believe he checked this base and then he moved away from it. That little bit of extra gas mining just goes such a long way. 5 more Banshees being made. Is Banshees the right idea? I mean, it's really tough to say. I mean, it feels like Banshees die so quickly, but it's difficult to say. It's difficult to say. Still so many Vipers as well in the skies. I mean, what is the right thing to do from either side right now? I'm really not too sure. Wagner's still up here from KeeN. You'll see some Hydras going over to the left-hand side as well. You can see actually these Banshees moving forwards. And he's going to start picking off a lot of these Crypt Tumors. So a lot of Tumors starting to go down as Hydras push forwards. There's going to be a couple of Banshees getting cleaned on out, or at least pushed away. Does he see this base? ByuL, please. Dude, you're so close to seeing this. Like, surely you've got to check it at some point. Parasitic Bombs coming down once again. A few Corruptors in the sky. Just adding on that little bit of extra damage to help pick off the Vikings once they're very low on health from the Parasitic Bombs. Because, again, they're left on red. So many of them. A couple more Brood Lords morphing in right away. I mean, these Vikings are so heavily damaged, though. A few Hydras down here. Probably not going to be what he needs against these Banshees, because there's just a few too many of the Banshees. And he cloaks up anyways. So these Hydras will go down. He does now see the base, though, right? He sees the refinery. No, he still doesn't with the Hydra moving further forwards. He doesn't see this. That's crazy. This base right now from KeeN is his income, you know? He's got this base here, which isn't mining much apart from gas, I guess. It's all about this bottom left base, which is just going huge right now. As the Banshee is still moving around, picking off Creep Tumors and whatever else is possible. A couple of Banshees over here moving around. And his Broodlings are... He's killing his own queens right now, I guess, to rebuild some mutas. Wants to open up his supply, build some mutas to deal with the Banshees. Not a bad idea, because it will stop the Banshee harassment. A couple of ducks coming forwards. Still, these Vipers looking to see what they can do. ByuL now starting to run out of gas himself. And he uses a Greater Spire. I feel as though ByuL isn't, you know, he's running out of gas, but he does have, you know, this base as well. Will probably be ByuL's to take with the way the game has been positioned as of late. So, still a tough position here as we see Broods firing down onto these Hellbats. And, well, Vikings going to push forwards, and nothing in the forward location to protect the Broodlords right now. The Vikings are doing huge damage. Where's the Parasitic Bomb? 2 Parasitic Bombs going to clean this up. We see, oh no, Secret Missiles onto the Vipers. They pull away to the side. Goodbye, Vipers, though. They're definitely going to go down as now ByuL pushes on through this main army. Is there enough here from ByuL? Well, he's got Queens in the back, but they're not transfusing the Ultralisks. There's one Ultra for him to transfuse right now, and he is starting to transfuse. There's another one that's caught behind. It looks as though ByuL's going to make it happen. He pushes on through. The turrets keep on dropping. That, I think, is just going to be enough to type out the GG from KeeN. And let's see, the last Broodlord is still in the sky as well. In fact, I mean, there's still not very much here. Mostly just Queens. A few more Vipers rebuilding. Still some Banshees flying around. Where are the Mutalisks? He built these mutas and he hasn't even used them yet to deal with these 2 Banshees, which picked off the Greater Spire. They've been on ByuL's side of the map forever, these 2 Banshees. They've done way more damage than they should have done. And, I mean, the business should have been over here a long time ago to clean those out. Finally on the way over now, so, well, they started to. Overseer's on the way, but the Banshee, the Mutalisks themselves have decided to stop. Apparently they don't want to keep on moving. They don't want to keep on moving. Mutas, man. So disobedient. We see this attack to the left-hand side now. I mean, this should have happened a long time ago, but ByuL didn't make it happen a long time ago, and so he let so much gas be mined from these refineries. I mean, that's 2k gas that should have never come into the game from KeeN. I mean, ByuL was very unfortunate not to see it in the first place. Even past that, like, you know, he had so many chances just... I mean, he should have just left a Hydra there, or 1 unit burrowed, to see this expansion when it gets taken. This gives KeeN way more to play with than he should have had. It's still okay. I mean, ByuL's still going to win the game. It's just small mistakes, which, in other games, I mean, maybe it would have been what cost him. Maybe it would have been what ended up costing him in the end, as we do see the Vikings, Hellbats, and a couple of these 4 tanks set up to the top side. And see this Sporecrawler being targeted down by a Banshee. So Sporecrawler will fall. Will get picked off right there. I'm just going to see this barracks moving forward a little bit. Landing once again. A few more Hellbats building. And Overseer is on the way up too from ByuL, so Overseer sets it up. It's ready to go. And Hydras, Ultras, Queens, Vipers. I mean, the army from ByuL looks as good as it ever has. And you look at KeeN's army, well, the fact he's making Hellbats, I mean, he hasn't made Hellbats for what, like 10, 15 minutes? Because he doesn't need Hellbats at this point. But now he can't build anything else because he just only has minerals. I mean, what else are you going to build? More barracks, Marines? Good transition. Army to the top side. I mean, we still got Banshees flying around here all over the place. Where are the Mutalists, man? He made these Mutalists to deal with Banshees, and they've just done absolutely nothing, I swear. They've been the most useless Mutalists we've ever seen. You can see this attacks on and push on forwards. A couple of Vikings getting abducted in. Viper count is still pretty low. I mean, ByuL himself is running out of gas too. He has got extra bases though, and that's the difference. Yes, KeeN has gas now as well, still here to this space which he's just taken. So I guess he does have that there, as we see starting to push on forwards a little bit further. Vikings and Hellbats seeing what they can do. Another tank sieges. Troop team is being cleaned out as well, and Hydras again just doing little bits and pieces of damage. Getting set up and ready to go. And Viper's going to abduct forwards once again. A few more of these Vikings getting taken down, so a few more Vikings getting shot down, and another abduct, another tank going to get killed off. Still ByuL playing so patiently as we see a Hellion run by. I mean, I guess they'll kill some drones, but I don't think that's really the issue for ByuL. I mean, he's got 3,000 minerals to rebuild drones with, so I don't think that's going to be the kind of end of the game for him. Oh my god, the Mutas are doing something! I can't believe it! The Mutas have arrived! Is this real life? Are the Mutas actually doing something in this game? Because, man, they were really not doing anything in forever. Vikings still to the top as we see a scan coming down on the army, keeping track of what's up over here. And we've seen the scans continue to come down. Continue to keep an eye on what is happening as we see the tanks pushing forwards themselves. And we'll want to siege up in a moment or so. Still a Planetary to the far left side and Orbital over here. Tank's starting to do a lot of damage here at this point. And Spire just on the way up still. He actually lost Greater Spire earlier. So I guess he's going to start rebuilding. I can't believe KeeN's still in this game. I mean, ByuL's playing it safe. Arguably too safe? I don't know. I don't know, actually. I mean, better safe than sorry, right? So, let's see a few tanks going to get abducted forwards, and these tanks are going to disappear. A few Hellbats taking some damage as well. Parasitic bombs still firing, and it is going to be GG now. ByuL will pick up the game number 1. Game to the bottom left-hand side, our player who's down 1 after that mech failure. I wouldn't say mech failure, just mech not working out for him in the first game. Is our Blue Terran player, KeeN. And to the bottom right-hand side, our Red Zerg player, give it up. You're going to be cheering on ByuL. Again, as we got a couple of moments of calmness right now, thank you very much, Cautions and 47 Nets who did sub during the last game. What a game you guys decided to sub during. Like, thank you so much for the sub. What a game you decided to sub during. What a long one. If you're enjoying the stream, you guys, do not forget that follow button is up above the stream if you're watching on Twitch, where you can click and then see when we go live again in the future. I will not be here for the next 4 days because I'm going to be at Epicland in the UK at a tournament. And I'll be back on Monday as we will then commence with the WardiTV weekly Season 1 Finals, Group A. We'll be announcing on Twitter, social media and everywhere else all the players who will be playing in that over the next few days. We'll be getting that set up and ready to go. So keep your eyes on social media, the Team Liquid thread and all the rest if you want to know who's playing, when they're playing, and all of that. So all of that said, I guess one more thing just quickly is, obviously, if you're really enjoying the show, you can, of course, subscribe and donate. Both great ways to support the channel, support the events and that we run, and all the rest of it as well. So, if you do enjoy, please do feel free to support. And it's always greatly appreciated. So we set up into this second game now, and it is once again a factory-based opening from KeeN. He's once again going to open with the Hellions. It is Newkirk Precinct. We are potentially going to have a similar setup to what we just saw in game number 1 if we have mech-based play. It's a map that can definitely go split map. It can definitely become a much longer sort of... you can definitely go into much longer kind of play styles here. And this one, as we see a few Zerglings from ByuL, just going to move in towards the top side, just scan around, see if there's anything around that you might want to clean up. Doesn't find anything for now. He just waits for Link Speed and as Pneumatized Carapace to come on in. For now, KeeN actually opening with pretty much the exact same build as the yeah, I guess, I guess he's just going to go into the exact same build. We'll see if he starts to cloak Banshee this time. Or if it is, okay, it's going to be cloaked this time around. I mean, there's still the possibility with Hellbat Banshee, or Hellion Banshee, there's still that possibility to switch into. He's just going to start a Liberator, wow. But there's that possibility to change into ByuL. You know, this doesn't have to be mech just because it wasn't the last game. So this is definitely something that can still change up as we see ByuL scouts in. We'll see the cloak. So he will build some Spore Crawlers against this. Starts up his Rotron fairly early once again as well. Making sure he's going to be able to build that as early as he needs to. As we have the couple of Hellions in the Reaper just attacking this third hatch for now. Ling speed's finished up. He's got a few Lings and he will use those now. Go and hunt down the Hellions in the Reaper. Shut those down and ooh, I like it. Going to split them up. And going to come in from a bit of a different angle, I guess, to try and catch those units a bit off guard. We'll push them towards the Queens, which are going to go in another direction, and KeeN not quite paying attention. So the first Hellions, ooh, they do start to slip away, but they go up to the top side, which is a bit different. Maybe not what we were expecting either way. He'll pick up the kills, and that last Hellion still can't outrun the Zerglings. It goes down as well. So the Zerglings get rid of the Hellions here. There is an army on the way, so it's definitely going to be Hellbats. Again, I mean, the longer this goes on, the more it looks as though it will be mech once again, but there's still that possibility that after a Hellbat attack, you just switch into Bio, so keeping an open mind, until the third and fourth gas comes down or something a little bit more solid in terms of just confirmation as to what this is going to be. Fair to see as well. I mean, you still got to think, though, it is very similar to the last game. Liberator currently moving in position, doesn't get anything done before it gets pushed away by the two Queens and the Spore Crawler. And we're going to see the Nidus Network coming down in the natural expansion of ByuL as well. So, set up down towards the natural expansion with this, and we just see the +1 vehicle weapons from KeeN on the way up. We're going to be seeing the Hellions continue to come on in. And the Banshee is about 75% of the way done. A few more roaches popping out here shortly too, and yes, the Nidus very early on just going to be a very aggressive attack out of ByuL to kind of counter against these Hellbats. There is a Banshee on the way, right? So Banshee on the way, but there's one Banshee out. Okay, that is the Banshee. I mean, just a Banshee is not necessarily going to be enough if there's going to be... I mean, there's a lair, obviously, because there's a Nidus. Why does he pop it down, this Nidus Network? You see Hellbat's currently being chased away still by these roaches. Ling is looking as though they might try and intercept as well, but Lings have to be careful if they try and fight into this. You have to be very, very careful to try and fight into this, as we do see... that's okay. 2 Hellbats is manageable for Zerglings. Anything more than 2 becomes, like, suicidal, you know? You're just going to see units disappearing so quickly. Nidus coming up in the main, and maybe just a little bit too overzealous with this one, as we're going to see nothing getting out of it realistically to help here. And the Queens will start fighting against this Banshee, and just gets it low, but doesn't really make any progress. I mean, KeeN is just finding these Nidus networks all over the place, and if ByuL doesn't do something with these Niduses, he's going to fall into a pretty tough spot. Would it have been bad just to build a Nidus outside of the base and to attack on in like that? Well, potentially. This time he will start to get units out here as the Queens transfuse the Nidus up a couple of times. You're going to see the roaches, a lot more of them coming out right here. Queens have gone down, though. Without the Queens, you just don't have anything to deal with the Banshees, and the Banshees will just end up cleaning up in general. And there's going to be seeing these roaches continuing to go down. I mean, 10 workers killed. Still more Lings and roaches building, though, but it just feels, though, with another Banshee on the way up. I mean, the Banshee count just keeps increasing and just gets harder and harder to realistically do damage here. When the first Nidus goes down, you lose a couple of Queens as well, especially. It just means you've lost a bit too much already, and again, maybe dropping down at the front may have been a bit of a better option rather than the main base where there was units in position in the end. And you can see it now, like more roaches coming out again. Actually, a couple more Queens, so maybe there's still a possibility here from ByuL as he does force these units to CCs to lift up on the lower ground. I guess I wasn't expecting 3 more Queens to come out, but there is 3 hatches at home, so I guess it makes sense. Okay, well actually maybe this isn't so bad for ByuL here. He just needs to keep the Queens alive though still. It's going to be a very important part of this as Banshees will continue to fight. He will lose one of them though. Actually never got cloaks. This, you know, they can't cloak up just to take advantage of the fact that the Overseer is in the main base still. And all these Deepers going down the low ground, so here's me being like, well, ByuL, he's kind of dead, he hasn't done enough, and then this next Nidus pops out 3 Queens, and suddenly it's going brilliantly once again. He starts to fight in towards these few Cyclones now. Siege Tank on the high ground as well, helping out, as he's just going to start streaming units up this ramp, and has he got enough here? Well, the Deeper will raise, but obviously the Siege Tank is in position where it can be attacked anyways. And I think continuing up this ramp may not work out for him, as we do now see the Lings and Roach in towards the middle line of the main. And he'll continue to push on forwards here. ByuL still just cleaning up whatever he can. A few more workers dropping. Currently sat at 31 SCVs to the 47 drones. And there is a Spire follow-up. I mean, the Spire can be deadly at this point if you slow the Terran player down enough. What are the chances that he's realistically going to start building anti-air? Well, very little. He's going to continue to focus on kind of recovering in the game. As the CC can come down to the low ground once again. And, yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to double expand, essentially. He does have the free CC, so actually he can come back in the game in terms of work count. I just feel as though with the Mutalisks, on the way up, he's going to be able to just do damage, which is just going to end the game, because Banshee's going to get shut down, he's going to kill it. I mean, there's no anti-air here. Unless he builds a 4 out of this factory right now, he's in a lot of trouble. And if he starts building Vikings too, I don't even think 1-4 would necessarily be enough. No engineering. Okay, he starts an engineering base. He has got some potential anti-air. We're just moving across through the center of the map here, and we are going to see feelings in the back as well. You got to remember that, ByuL, he had to do a lot of damage with this. Because if he didn't do a lot of damage, he would have ended up in this position where he was on very low tech. And even now, he is very low on the tech. As we see those Zerglings starting to work their way through the rocks on this top side. A few roaches coming forwards. I mean, there's the Banshees, though, and that's where the Mutas will really kind of prevail, I guess. He's going to be able to build a few of them. Going to build 6 or 7, I guess, and same time, Hydrodent does finish. There's the 7 Mutalisks coming down. But there's 4s on the way, so I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. I mean, you can still harass a little bit. 2 4s can't be everywhere. But it is a good start to having something up at least against the Mutalisks, rather than nothing at all. Roaches, Lings gathering to the right-hand side. 2 Banshees coming up towards the top. And they're going to be keeping on moving through to see where else they can go. I guess they'll try and attack in towards this 4th base in the next couple of moments, or 3rd base in the next couple of moments. Again, just look for little bits and pieces of damage wherever possible. The Mutas start to go across the map. There's a 4 in the main, a 4 in the natural as well, I guess. They'll 4 at the 3rd, 4 at the 3rd. Natural expansion's pretty open then, but I guess if you can't get into the natural, then that's not really a concern of the Terran player. And, well, how do the Mutas get into towards the natural expansion? I guess they kind of don't. Viking and a 4 in this main base, and ByuL just turns away instantly with the Mutas. They are not successful in doing anything so far. Comes towards the 3rd base instead, and, well, there's another 4. There's going to be another little bit of splash damage. Still doesn't lose a Mutalisk, but they do get very, very low, and you have to be very cautious of that. As we are setting up into mech once again. We're going to this kind of longer game, and I think we're kind of stabilizing on both sides to allow us to go into this longer game from a bit of a, from a nice even position. And see the overseer up to the top with these Mutalisks going to be sat around looking to see what's up and what's happening. Looking to see what they can get up to over the next few moments. We see the Lings and the Roaches moving around a little bit. Going to start running in towards the 3rd base, and obviously a couple of tanks here going to be able to turn those Zerglings away, no problem. I'm going to be seeing a couple more factories building on up. 5 facts in total, and 5 factories total. Going to see a couple more Ravagers on the way down as well. It's kind of I guess it's going to just go kind of for a long one again. I mean, 5's on the way up, getting ready for the Vipers. A couple of Ravagers brought into play. We didn't see Ravagers last game. He used just a couple of them here. I think he just wants to harass onto this refinery. Obviously, if you can kill gas geysers or refineries, slows down the gas, slows down the amount of mech that can be made. And that's generally a pretty good positive for a Zerg player going up against mech. I like the introduction of a couple of Ravagers. Not going crazy on them, doesn't really need to. Although, that said, maybe a lot of Ravagers could be a good way to deal with the heavy tank play. Possibility. A few Roaches, a couple of Ravagers are still sat here down to the south side, and again, these few Hellions from KeeN moving around as well, see what they can do. Hydra coming forward, fires a shot onto a Hellion, and we're going to be seeing the Mutas coming in to intercept those as well. So the Mutas, this time the Mutas are a little bit more alive. At the end of the last game, he made the Mutas, and he did nothing, it felt like. As we see the scan into the main, KeeN's going to see the hive. He won't be too happy about that. He's actually going to start pushing forwards, I think, as he sees it. So, starts pushing forwards across the map. Obviously feels as though maybe now is the best chance, go as soon as possible before Vipers are up or something. Well, I guess that kind of has to be his plan right here. A couple of Crows of Bars will get a tank low, won't finish it. There's only 2 Ravagers, not the 3 he needs. At the same time, he's going to come in on the other side. They pick off a siege tank, and, well, still no turrets set up in a couple of these bases or to cover the entire mineral line. So, even though there's only a few of them, will get some pretty decent damage done. Roaches and Hydras in the center are going to be trying to delay as well, and I guess that's what this is all about right now for ByuL. Delay this as long as possible, get his Vipers out, and just play from there, The more the Terran player is running around the map chasing Mutalisks, the less time he's across the map killing his opponent with the mech army. So, ByuL coming around the top now with some Roach Hydra as well. Coming around, can he get into a good position with this? Can he do something interesting with it? Potentially. You can see these units down to the south are picking off a few of the Ravagers here still. And here you go, Roaches and Hydras still pushing on through. He's just going to go into the natural expansion. He's going to start taking some interesting trades. Actually pulls the Hydras back, only sends majority of Roaches towards the natural. Wants to keep the Hydras alive apparently, as we do see some Vikings going across here. Yes, they can land and do some damage, but it's a bit of a weird choice. Sending the Vikings over to the other side of the map. That's definitely not your usual kind of way of dealing with this sort of situation, I guess. I guess maybe they're just looking around for the Mutalisk. They are over here to the left-hand side. Just on the way over. More Roaches too. Where are the Vipers? They are out, and there they are, 2 of them continuing to come on in. And still just a couple more SCVs getting taken down again. ByuL in the last game looked to be in control for the majority of the game. In this game too, he really looks as though he knows what he's doing all the way throughout so far. And as we see, the Roaches, Hydras going to start joining up in the center of the map. Vipers still overhead as well. They are going to be one of the main things to use against this. I mean, the compositions are pretty decent on either side. Let's see what these Vipers can do. Blinding Clouds, I think, is going to be the choice. Forces the tanks to unsiege and pull back just slightly. And now this Roach Hydra continues to push on through. A couple of the tanks going down. I'm going to be seeing ByuL backing away. We'll need some more energy on these Vipers, or even new Vipers, because he did lose a couple. This was nice. I mean, the Blinding Clouds were well placed to kind of, again, allow him to attack on in without too many tanks firing at the same time. Just makes a bit of a better fight for him, as we see Roach's Hydras position themselves in the center. The Vikings will push on over to the right-hand side as well, and keeping the Viking count high is always going to be beneficial, as we see a big counterattack. That's a lot of Roach Hydra to the left-hand side. That's a dead CC, like 100%. That's a dead CC if he goes to the third base. I mean, he can't even lift up because there's Hydras there. So Hydras can push in towards this. And he's also going to the natural for a few workers as well. There's tanks on the high ground that can siege up. The Hydras can just come in towards this side if he wants to. And he's going to take a couple shots already, as ByuL, giving up his 4th base, will just take the 4th base to the top right side instead. And CC not going to go down because he didn't focus on the 3rd base soon enough to really take advantage of how low health that was. He's killed 20 workers though. I mean, keeping the economy of the mech in player low, and still just building up a good army at home, trading out effectively, and just waiting to make sure he has more than enough before he takes the fight. And if he doesn't need to take a fight, he's not taking one, which is kind of the situation right now. He's saying no need for him to attack on in, because this army looks pretty stable already. Left-hand side, some Roaches and Hydras are going to turn around, picking off a Cyclone. Coming forwards here, going to get rid of a Hellbat, a second Hellbat too. Continue to push this away right now. Vikings still up in the skies from KeeN, and there's a couple of there's Blind Clouds going to start coming down. These Vipers are just going to kind of, well, just go for the Blind Clouds, and that's going to be about it. He's going to force enough tanks to unsiege so he can justify pushing on in. And KeeN's army is going to disappear. ByuL is going to look to pick up a 2-0 here and qualify himself for the WardiTV Weekly Season 1 Finals. That's now really what is left for KeeN. Not too much. A few tanks. That's about it. That is about it. So, let's see a few of these Hellions continue to back away here. Tanks still firing. A few of these Roaches and Hydras going down very quickly. Very, very quickly. And a few meters on the way up as well. I guess he's just killed. I mean, is it really worth... I mean, it's not really a remax of meters, like 3 meters. He's on 10 already. I guess it's a few meters. It's not a super scary number. There's a 4 on the map. And there's Vikings out as well. He will just come in. He'll fight this 4, even though the Vikings are nearby as well. And CVs will pull on in. Is that enough to kill off this, to kill the meters and keep the 4 alive? I think it is. We'll go for the Vikings now instead. This wasn't really the best meter play. Now the ByuL definitely wasn't as effective as I think he was hoping for it to be. You see this planetary fortress will be repaired on up, but I don't think it'll come down in time, or that there's enough SCVs to repair for how much Roach Hydra is in position. SCVs going down once more, and KeeN still not being allowed to really get past the 40 worker marker in the recent times. Going to move his main base orbital already towards the 4th. He's already doing that as pushing onto the map. KeeN really barely has anything at all here. And as these units pushing in towards the center, more meters still coming up. The +3 weapons coming up as well as these couple of Vikings coming in, and Vikings will get shut down very quickly here. There's 2 Vikings going down, tanks sieging up once again, and another Mutalisk in the sky is going to get picked off too. And these drones continue to get taken down. That's going to be GG there. ByuL will take game number 2, and he will qualify himself